So you're joining me now at the headquarters of Guide1 condominium development. I'm here with Ben, who I bumped into at the party. Ben, this is not your first development, right?
No, actually, Guide1's our second development in Banksaray. Our first development, Guide1, was very well received, so we actually moved on to the second development ahead of schedule.
And the first one sold so fast that it was kind of a rush to the next one, is it? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Guide1 basically hit a sweet spot for a lot of people. I mean, we came into the market with studio units priced from $1 million baht. So obviously very cheap, very cheap. So that kind of created the momentum for us, and sales basically leading into the completion of the project have been fantastic.
So you touched on price there as well, being so cheap, but quality is, from what I've seen, is it's almost at the top end of the level. Is it? How can you do that? How can you? Yeah,
well, basically, I mean, in Banksaray, it's kind of unique because you have essentially the low end, mid end, and obviously the higher range projects. With the higher range projects being well over 100,000 baht a square meter. What we do is we come into the marketplace and offer a high quality product at a value-based price. So essentially, you're getting European quality at rock bottom prices.
Which is not always the easiest thing to find in the area?
No, it's not. I mean, I think you hear a lot of, stories about people, buying these lower price condos, and obviously the quality is compromised. What we try to do is we try to internalize everything in-house. We're able to simply pass along the value to our clients.
I think people often worry they're buying a cheap product, they're going to get a cheap product, but with you it's totally the opposite.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, I think that when you're a developer and longevity is very important to you, like it is to us. Ultimately, your customers are going to be your biggest fans and your biggest advertisements, essentially. So we want to deliver something, obviously, that they can smile about, and something that makes them happy and something that makes us happy as well.
Great. So your condos, you don't just sell condos for individuals to move into and live into, you also do a rental guarantee program, is that correct?
Sure. Effectively, there are two sides to the market. So we have investors that are buying and that are end users, and then we have a large proportion of people that are looking for an investment, maybe something that they can rent out now and then move into later, or something they can use part of the year and then rent for the remainder. So we offer a rental guarantee program with both of the projects, Guide1 and Guide1. In the case of Guide1, we're doing a 9% rental guarantee annually for 3 years. With Guide1, it's 10% annually for 3 years. And that's been very, very popular with a lot of our foreign investors.
Obviously, there is a lot of investors in the area. From what I've seen in previous developers, they offer such long guarantees, like 5 years, sometimes even 10 years. But to me, how can they sustain that? You do 3 years. Why is that?
Well, basically, I mean, we think that 3 years is the ideal time frame to see the investment work for you. So obviously, in an area like Banksaray that's undergoing rapid growth, I mean, you've got Utapao International Airport, you've got the new motorway linking Bangkok, and then a bunch of commercial development coming into the area. We feel that in 3 years, you're going to be able to see the value of your property basically increase. And at that point, you should be making the yield based off the value of your property now instead of what it was when you purchased it.
And obviously, after 3 years, they can reassess the situation and see where they're at with the property.
Yeah, definitely. So what we do is we maintain a full in-house rental management service. So at the end of the 3 years, basically, we can renegotiate the rental guarantee based on mutual agreement, or the client might decide that they want to use the property more, in which case they can dictate the time frame and just place it with our rental management company.
That was a key point that you mentioned there, Ben. A lot of other developers, they do these guarantee programs, but when the property gets sold, the property gets outsourced to other different agents who take care of the rental, whereas you do it in-house here.
We have a strong presence in Banksaray, so that's our hub of operations. So essentially what we want to do is control the rental market in Banksaray as well. So having the availability of units is simply a plus for us.
Of course. So at the party, I bumped into your boss, Mr. Lawrence.
You did.
What a lovely guy he is.
Yep.
He mentioned, and obviously you promoted, is it the Banksaray Development Program?
Yeah, exactly. This is something that internally we're very, very excited about. So essentially on Saturday we launched that program. Be happy to tell you a little bit about it.
Absolutely, tell me.
Okay, fantastic. So what we wanted to do was seeing as Banksaray as our base of operations, and we want to continue basically operating that area. We felt that it was good to give something back to the community. So this is something that we came up with, but ultimately something that we want all of the stakeholders in the community to take ownership of.
Okay.
So essentially the Banks Ray Development Program is a program to help keep Banks Ray beautiful, essentially. So you know, we have things like planting trees that are important to the program. Obviously, clearing up you know, derelict buildings or walls that need to be painted, paint the walls. Basically make Banks Ray a shining example of what a community can be if people pull together and support each other.
It's a shame Pattaya didn't have it at the start, wasn't it? Maybe.
It is, and I think that in the case of Pattaya right now, it's so big that it's
almost too far ahead of it. It can't be undone, can it?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I think that now it's like, you know, different centres of Pattaya would have to get involved and then cooperate together. But in the case of Banks Ray, I mean, obviously it's a small community, and generally people that live in Banks Ray, they really are receptive to this program.
It's good, and basically anyone can get involved, from businesses to individuals, basically anyone.
Sure, I mean, essentially there are two facets to be involved with the program. Obviously there's the financial side, so if businesses want to make donations or individuals want to make donations, obviously we can put that into the development program. Or volunteering, you know, volunteering to come and plant some trees, to paint a wall, to clean up the beach.
So it's not just financial as well. Lawrence mentioned mainly, obviously, focusing towards businesses, things like materials.
Sure.
So it's not just financial either, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, if there are local businesses and they want to donate something in the way of a service or a material, there are ways that we can put that into effect. That can be as simple as, you know, if you have a restaurant, feed the volunteers for a lunch. You know, as you said, if you have a paint store, donate some paint. If you run a nursery, donate some plants. You know.
But the aim of the game is to keep Banks Ray the little gem that it is, keep it looking good, and keep it attracting good quality tourists and visitors and customers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we think that Banks Ray is the most beautiful place in the whole region, effectively. So we want to maintain that. And as I said before, just make it a shining example of what can be if people pull together, help out.
Very good. So going back to the party, what a fantastic time it was. I seen you threw a couple of people in the pool, was it?
I didn't throw a couple of people in the pool. We had some great prizes on offer, so I merely motivated them to get into the pool.
And the sponsors, you had some fantastic heavyweight sponsors there as well. Do you want to give a quick shout out to them?
Yeah, absolutely. We had some great sponsors there. Obviously, you know, the biggest players in the community. So we had Nongnu Gardens there, which did a fantastic job. Cartoon Network Water Park. Obviously, that's the only water park branded Cartoon Network in the world. And then Silver Lake was there, obviously supplying the wine.
They had the wine. I had far too many bottles of that. I know
you did.
What were we talking about after? I mean, I had a few bottles already.
Absolutely. Well, it was an interesting conversation, Danny, and actually I've got your contract ready for you. So Sarah, do you just want to bring over that CZN contract for me?
A contract for what?
Well, you bought a unit that night, Danny, so I've got the paperwork all ready for you.
No. Cut. Yep. Cut. Welcome everybody to Banks Ray Beach Club. You're joining me, Danny Mack, here for the launch event of CZN and CZN condominium in Pattaya. We've got lots of food, lots of drinks on show here. We've got a fire show, lucky free draw as well. So I'm going to have a walk around, see who I can find at the party. Let's go.